Good morning and welcome to Tech Turks again. Today I have Chris Ubosi, a friend of mine that I've known for over 20 years. Over 20 years, he's also been in radio. So Chris, welcome.
Thanks a lot, Uzoma. Thanks for having me.
Radio, over 20 years. So what has changed in that industry from the type of music, how it's played, and the business in general?
The key things that have changed since we started radio, in 20 years, that makes me seem quite old, really. In 20 years, we've had, first of all, when we started radio, there was not enough local content. You know, I remember those days I used to go, when you went out to African countries, you'd have, if you went to Senegal, you'd have Youssou and the like playing in the clubs. When you came back here, it was foreign music, you know, and so I think private broadcasting, giving different platforms for artists to expose themselves, led to what we have now, which is a lot more Nigerian music and a lot more artists and the growth in the industry. That has changed, and what else has changed is technology, of course. Technology is, you know what it was 20 years ago and what it was now, you know, and so those are the key things that have changed.
Okay, so I'll get to technology later, but so you're the man behind Classic
FM,
Beat FM, now Nigeria and Lagos Talks. So why four? Why can't you deliver that content on one platform? Why do they have 4 different platforms?
The consumers are becoming a lot more discerning, you know. I mean, so what we do with each station is we target a demographic or a psychographic. For Classic FM, it's, you know, it's the older people. For Beat FM, it's the younger people. For Nigeria FM, it's a totally pidgin English and local languages station. And the new one, Lagos Talks, is talk radio. So we're just talking to people. So if you liked a certain type of radio, you can stay with it, and we deliver everything we do, from the presenting on each station to the content to the delivery style, is all done for the target.
So Chris, you know, we talked about technology earlier. We talked about technology has changed. So look, for the average listener, I put on the radio, I listen to music. So how has technology helped from a user experience? I mean, maybe from the back end, but how is the user benefiting from the technology? Well,
now, you know, everything, like I always say, in all industries now, is all geared towards the consumer. In the past, you'd get your radio station, the physical brick and mortars, and then you start to do a website, and you start to, now you first of all get the app, get the streaming going. You have all that done now, because before you start the bricks and mortar. I mean, Lagos Talks has an app. It's streaming live. It's all over. It's on TuneIn. It's on all the aggregators, radio aggregators. So what it is that the consumer now determines what's important, because we did a research for Lagos Talks, and we found that 70% of the millennials listen to radio on their phones. I didn't know that, because I thought there was no light, but they listen to radio on their phone. So critically, what the technology does is that it allows, you have to provide your content for your consumer where and when they want to listen to it. Gone are the days when when they go to look for you. Now you have to chase after them.
No, so I get it. So now you don't have to have one of those radios, except you are one of those people who like carrying his radio. Like, you know, my dad liked listening to his radio. So, and then you can now listen to it on your phone if you have enough data. So data is a problem.
They're not. Those are the apps, but a lot of radio phones now have FM.
Okay, yes.
FM,
yeah, okay, the old Nokias that you have.
Smartphones. The FM.
Okay, so, but my question is, you know, like, I'm a banker, so one of the things I keep saying is that, you know, why are we advertising on radio? I mean, and everybody says to me that, you know, it's Lagos traffic. So when people are going home, that's when they listen to traffic, either on the way home or on the way to work. But, you know, in the last, since the increase of petrol, traffic has gone down. And so what does that do what does that do in terms of listeners? How do you capture it? I mean, I thought that was the essence of digital. But nobody seems to be giving me enough stats to convince me that yes, this is a sustainable business?
For reasons you said, traffic makes people listen to radio because all the radios, all cars have FM radios on them. Radio is the medium that you don't skip adverts on. It's statistically all over the world. With radio, in TV, once an ad comes up, I switch to another channel and watch something and come back. But in radio, you listen to the ads. Radio, you can take radio everywhere. Radio is background. So I mean, there's many reasons why radio advertising. And Nigeria is in England and in America, TSL, time spent listening to radio, is an average of 30 minutes a day. Because of your commute time. In Nigeria, it's like 3 hours, man. If you are going on third mainland bridge, you're stuck with the radio. So radio still remains, and it's the most cost-effective. You reach the most people with the least budget.
It's not that I'm not convinced, right? But I just think that there's not enough data. So, like, your kind of business, how are you trying to differentiate yourself from the others? One, because the setup cost is much easier now, so anybody can just set up a radio show. How do you capture that information to allow you to continuously innovate your content and make you distinct from everybody? How is your brand distinct from the other radio stations?
First, for the reasons I said earlier as well, each of our stations is targeted to a particular segment, and for instance, Beat FM, we were the first. We use social media. There are some audience measurements in Nigeria, but they're not reliable, but it will get better once we go digital. But we have deep-stick things like social media. We're the biggest on social media. We were the first to get verified. I think we were the first to get to 1 million and something followers. We're on Facebook. We're the biggest in social media, and we sort of do auditorium tests also because we're segmented. We do auditorium tests where we get 50 of our core listeners or 50 of our target audience, but in all of them, in classic beats, Niger, and we test new products. We do research. We spend a lot of money on research, and auditorium tests, finding out what they want to listen to, what they don't like, what they like, and we use that as a tool to design products that and you can always tell you're doing well when all the other radio stations are copying you. You kind of like it.
So you were talking about when you go digital, right? So what would that mean for you, for your business, and what would that mean for the user? What will be the additional experience when you're digital?
Yes, so the digital switchover, it will really affect TV a lot more than radio. TV, what it would do to TV is it will be like the UK, where you now have a plethora of channels to watch, as opposed to now that you have maybe 4 or 5. You'll have a lot more. You'll have for the consumer, you'll have a lot more. You'll have clearer definition television. It will be digital. You'll be able to interact with the TV. You'll also be able to get actual program schedules on your TV. For the industry, it will create a lot more employment because there'll be a lot more channels. What you broadcast now for NTA2, for instance, now will be able to broadcast 8 different channels. So there'll be a lot more content. There'll be a lot more people, there'll be a lot more employment. People will be doing gardening channels and cooking channels, and it will also have a social thing because you'll now be able to do education, a lot more education and information, disaster channels, So I mean, there's a lot that will do, and what it will end up doing is that it will raise the amount of spending to grow the industry and therefore grow the spending that will come with it. For radio, fortunately, it's not going to be it's not going to be soon. When we applied for, we opened in London in April. When we were doing that process, we went to this Ofcom forum where at that time Secretary of Culture and Telecoms was telling us about going digital. And they said, he said people don't want to go digital on radio yet, because to go digital on radio means you have to remove all the FM and put it on DABs, digital audio broadcast. Now, cars they've been doing it for 10 years, and they've reached a 43 or 44% uptake. And so the guy says clearly that people don't want to change yet. Otherwise, the uptake would have been a lot more. So I think if they haven't done it, I don't think.
Because it will mean configuration of cars, radios.
We were Tokumbo car experts. So
no, we've changed now. We've changed now.
I don't have digital.
We Diamond Bank, we finance. We don't like people. We want to uplift people's lives. So tell me. So one of the reasons why financing. So, and I think revenue stream from stations businesses like yours is advertising. So how easy is it to get financing, knowing that it depends on your advertising capacity and power? And so how do you make a compelling case for people to use your radio station to advertise other than other people?
Well, we use the numbers that come out of the not so reliable machinery that we have now, but we also have independents. A lot of the big companies do their independent surveys, and you see we are nicely positioned because you have people. I'll give you an instance. I've been to a pitch where they brought the numbers. And a guy that I've never met, he was the director of communications or something, the guy who was heading the team we were pitching to. And he looked at the numbers and he said, this is not possible. I listen to Classic FM. My son fights me to listen to Beat FM. And when we leave the car, the driver changes to Niger FM. And you're telling me that these are the numbers. It was really funny.
All happened to be your radio stations.
Coincidence. But that's the plan. You see, you try to cater for, whoever you're trying to reach, we can get to them for you.
So finally, Chris, let's talk a bit about music. And so, of course, Nigerians love music, and our music has, changed in 20 years. You go to a nightclub, if you listen to a radio station, it's more Nigerian music and a bit of Western. So how do you yourself, keep in touch or engage with the providers of music, your D'Banjis, your Wizkids? Are you a destination point, or are other people so how do you differentiate yourself from that?
We pride ourselves in the fact that 9 out of 10 of the top artists break their songs with us. They do their interviews, and they do. Last week we had Pato Rankin come and release his album for the first. The week before that was Adekunle Gold, and also we have the London station, so it's also like a one-stop shop for them. As you break it here, we also break it in London, so you have a double whammy for them. And now we're doing the Buckwild tour with Two-Face, Tubaba. It's changed the name to Tubaba and MI, and we've syndicated it with our partner stations in Nairobi and Ghana as well. So we provide a bigger platform for them to expose themselves. So they come to us, we're happily.
So your business is not only about Nigerian music, it's also about exporting Nigeria to different parts of the world, and also helping our Nigerian music providers release their content across the globe.
Yes, and using whatever contacts we have made in the industry to here and abroad to propagate Nigerian music, and it's really doing well. Nigerian music is doing very well globally now.
Well, fantastic. So great talking to you. One thing I've learned is that the next party that we have, we're going to have the likes of Two-Face, Wizkid, D'Banj, all for free because we just know you. So thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We'll see you after this. Cheers.